And welcome everybody to ASD Live. It's Breeders' Cup Edition 2024 from Del Mar Racetrack in California. We're going to start out with the Friday evening card as the Juvenile 2-year-olds. We have 5 races. There is 10 races on the card, but we've narrowed it down to races 6 through 10. And then we're going to carry on to Saturday's card, where the action starts in race number 4 through race number 12. An exciting time of the year for both me and you, Stretch. Stretch, what do you think about Breeders' Cup? What a great time of year. It's like Christmas.
It is like Christmas. We've got the 2 days. I'll say it multiple times. We are not doing a sprint. It is an absolute marathon. Pace yourself. Just mentioned to everybody, thank you for tuning in. There's so many shows out there. Appreciate you taking the time to check us out, listen to our information. Hopefully last year you listened to Kirt. He came, hit a couple nice price horses, a couple bad beats, but his still long shots were right there. We seem to almost alternate on each year.
Definitely do.
This is our 5th year doing show. Always so much fun. We talked before the show of just how many videos we've watched and kind of comparing stuff. Obviously, last year, nobody cares about it. It's this year. Hopefully, we can give you some information and kind of going for there. A couple things. We've got the 2-year-olds today. We have the most outside of North America horses ever in the breeders. We've got from all around the world. It was already tough. Now it's even tougher.
Oh, is it ever?
So we'll start there. This is not ASD Live. It's the Breeders' Cup preview show or not so live show. So understand that if there's a scratch or so, we got burned a couple of years ago and also.
Oh, did we ever?
And so, but we didn't know the horse was racing. There is one scratch we'll mention later, but I'm ready.
I'm ready to go too. Let's kick off with the weather, though, Stretch.
Yes.
I knew you always wanted to be a weatherman, so let's throw it over to you.
Look at that. It's sunny. Where's Kirt? No, it's just a stretch.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm hiding there, probably behind a cactus.
But that's as you can see how good the weather's going to be. The track condition shouldn't be a problem. I think it's going to be fast and firm, not a cloud in the sky. So it is Stretch's only sunny. So we're ready to go. It's a great racetrack too.
All right, Stretch, here we go. We're going to kick it off with the Juvenile Turf Sprint. Big Eves was the winner last year. Only went off at 3-1, paid $8.20 to win. Who do you like in here, Stretch?
Yeah, so we've got starting, like you said, in the 6th race. We end up on the same 3 horses. This is the 7th time being run. They alternate kind of between 5 and 5.5. I think you can expect. I think that there's going to be a quick early pace. Fractions of between that 21 and 2, 21 and 4 potential. Pay attention on the Euros, especially watching the replays, as you would have seen. They're running straights. And so a lot of them are only running that long straight. So I found it a little difficult to try to compare on the straights and the turns. Appleby the trainer won this last year and seems to have the same angle to prep for the horse that came in that you mentioned. So I decided I thought that this horse is kind of going to improve, and that top race puts this horse right there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Speed has dominated this race since the inception, but I'm going to go against a stalker type, and that's Big Mojo in here that you also do like, Stretch. Did get beat by Asterisk, the 2-horse last time out, but there was some trouble late down the lane. A horse was getting out, interfered with Big Mojo, and Asterisk also got a little bit interfered with, but I think Big Mojo took the worst of it, ran a big race 2 outs ago, which was a key race where the 2nd and 3rd place finishers both came back to absolutely demolish the opposition. I'm not liking a horse that's going to be right on the lead, but I think Big Mojo sits just in behind, and that's going to be the perfect spot.
Yeah, I exactly agree with you. We both had to include the 2. The horses won 4 of 6. You always like horses that win races. Has a win on the turn, which I do like that. If he runs 2 back, watch out. Last race was close, but that 2 back was a monster race. So maybe that slight regression and then that big effort. That's why I have it between the 3 and the 2.
Yeah, and with the Euros, it seems like they have a lot more experience. You see that some of them have 8, 9 races under their belts for 2-year-olds. Absolutely unheard of on the North American circuit. So that's why I'm kind of leaning to the Euro types in these type of races. Also, we went to number 10, Governor Sam. Here's a horse that does bring a lot of pace to the race. Draws outside in here, the 10 hole, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem. The horse has won 4 out of 5 starts. The lone blemish was the 5 furlong effort at Gulfstream, but since then, this has been an absolutely different horse. So if you want a forward horse to try and steal it, I think this one just might be it.
For sure. I even mentioned that this horse, couple back, can sit just off. It doesn't have to have the lead. That 3 back was sitting in third. I thought it was just so much the best last time. Interesting note, Paco won his 4,000th race in that stake race, which was kind of cool to close it off. I'm 3-2-10.
I'm 3-2-10 also, but just want to add on a Coro Sig, the 8 horse. This is a horse that is going to take a pile of money this race. Did break a 23-year track record in the last start, winning by 2.5. I did go back and dig a little deeper into this horse and look at all the horses that it beat. I went to the next 4 horses in both races, and just a point of note, none have come back to win, so it was not a key race, and that's why I think it just might have been a fluke, and that's why I did leave this horse out.
Great information for sure.
So 3, 2, and 10. Now we're on to race number 7. It's the Juvenile Cup Fillies. They're going to tackle a mile and a 16th. Just FYI, was the winner last year at 7-1 or $16. Stretch, very interesting race.
It is. It's going to be one of my bold statements of the day coming up. Right, kick it off. Second race.
Early.
I am. It is. Looking forward to seeing how good this American Bikini is. There is a lot of hype out there, but I think if this horse runs close to his sire, watch out. I don't think we've seen the best of this horse. I see that this horse can kind of sit close or come off the pace. Is it too soon to say Triple Crown winner?
Wow.
Yes, write it down. Take it to the bank.
Wow, Stretch.
If not, Adam, you're going to have to delete this statement. We'll see how it goes. I just think this horse, the replays that I've watched is this horse just looks so good. The other 2-year-olds, some of them look pretty good, but just not as good as that I've seen in the past. Had to go with this one.
Yeah, and the Japanese horses have been doing so well in the last 3 years. It's been a breakout crop of breeding for the Japanese, and they've actually brought it to the show, and they've shown how good these horses are. We've seen Forever Young in the Derby run third, maybe should have won that race, just leading towards that. And but horses like that, American Bikini, I do like this horse, and it did beat up on the boys and did it in such good fashion. Even the horse Happy Man, that was the only horse to beat it, did beat Happy Man the next time these two met, and that was the last time out in the stake race. Happy Man ended up running fourth in there. I ended up going to number 8, Noonie. There is some speed in the race, but Noonie has run some really good races, beat by non-compliant last time out. But that race 3 outs ago, the horse went right out to the front end, controlled every step of the way, beat Vodka with the twist, got a little bit of pressure next time out, didn't fare so well. Last time, rebounded nicely, but I just like that it has the distance under the belt. And I think this is a horse that might be able to press and go gate to wire.
Yeah, that's fair. I went to 10 is the horse that I think, if the 9 isn't as hyped that I just hyped it, could win. I actually bet this horse last time out when it won by 9, got a nice price, had some solid.
Did you ever?
Yeah.
Wow.
And the reason was the workouts were coming in, and it's like, if this horse repeats those workouts, which I think the horse ran better than the workouts even, and just won for fun, had more in the tank. I just liked what I saw there. Had to use that horse.
Yeah, another horse I like is Immersive, one of 2 undefeated horses in the field. 3 for 3, and I love the running style. The horse doesn't need the lead, but naturally sits close. They haven't had to hustle the horse to be in contention, and I think that's a huge key, especially with the babies. If you can get them up there, get them comfortable, sit behind a live pace, definitely big shot from just off of it.
For sure. And I scratched into the 5 as note. The 7-horse non-compliant is out. And so I had that horse in there. So I've moved the 5 up, just looking for a bit of a price. This horse has run the distance, has closed in. As Kurt's mentioned, there's some speed, so maybe can pick up the pieces at a bit of a price. So I'm 9, 10, 5.
And I'm 8, 3, and 9. Now we're going to carry on to race number 8. It's the Juvenile Fillies Turf. They're going to go 1 mile. Last year's winner, hard to justify, 9-1 on the board, or 2020. This race, another little wide open affair.
Absolutely. Here's a stat for you that you might want to switch your pick. Euros have only won 3 of 16 of these races.
Okay.
So
they've won 3, though.
They've won 3. They've won 3.
I'm in the hunt.
I like your horse for sure. Just because of that stat, I had to move it down. That horse does look solid. I am going for an absolute price in here. I'm getting that 15-1. This horse, obviously, I don't like the price, don't like the post, but I'm going to get the price. Well, I think this horse can hopefully save a bit of ground. I really like this horse's turn of foot, and if it can get position and not get too far back, certainly can be there. Is up against it a little bit, but I just think I'm going to get that price, and I can include it with your 1. Like I said, I think the 1 is the one to beat, but had to throw out a bit of a price.
Well, I don't see a pile of speed in this race. The 7 has some speed. The 8 has some speed. But the 1 definitely will be forward in here. And you get Aidan O'Brien. That's never a bad thing to have. The horse is undefeated in the 4 lifetime starts and was right there in every start. And watching the Euro races is kind of tough because you have to watch it about 4 times to kind of track your horse along the way until you see it at the end. Then you have to back it up, watch it again. But this is another horse that has natural gate speed. And with the way the configuration of the turf is, they hit that turn so quick. You have to have speed if you're on the inside. This one does. Has won every race rather easily. Hasn't been scrubbing too hard early in the race. Only late. So I think late Victoria. This is one that can keep going and make it 5 in a row.
I completely agree with you on that. For sure. It's just a matter of positioning and maybe price. Sometimes a few unknowns. I'll go to the 6 as my 3rd selection. I actually almost wanted this horse to be my top selection, but as you mentioned, maybe not as much speed. This horse got stuck at the back last time, and the winner, which happens to be, what number is that? The 4. Had an absolute dream trip. The leaders bolted, and this horse came up the other horse came up the rail. This horse came from the back. Best turn of foot at 20-1. Again, I don't know if the horse can win. Might be too far back, and when you've got 13, 14 horses in here, it's tough to get there. But there's my long shot, and you've got the 7.
Yeah, I got the 7 thought process. This will be another one of the favorites, a second favorite. But another one with great races under the belt, has won 3 of the 4 starts. The lone blemish was the first start. And I give every 2-year-old a pass on their first start, whether it's good or bad. It's what they do in the next couple of races that kind of shows me what they're all about and what this horse has shown. Oh, I got speed, or I can stalk. I can do it any which way you want. And that last race was an absolute gimme. Went to the front end, coasted to wire-to-wire victory. The 2 previous starts, sat behind the leaders, pounced late, and won going away in both of them. I just think this horse is just getting better.
I agree with you. When I give you my picks, I'll give you my picks, and you can add it. Mine's 13, 1, 6, 7.
All right, now I got to add one more. Number 11, Fiery Lucy. You want bombs away? Here it is. Fiery Lucy has lost twice to the 8-horse Heaven's Gate. But the one thing about Fiery Lucy, it's been getting better the farther they go. So the horse went a mile, ran a great race against Dreamy. Those 2 losses to Heaven's Gate. This horse was absolutely flying late and ran out of ground. Now it gets a mile on 16th, and if the pace all jams up on the front end, this one I'll definitely be backing if I get the 30-1 odds, but I'm going to give you 1, 7, and 11. Now we're going to carry on to race number 9. It's the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. They're going to go a mile and a 16th, and a very interesting affair. Fierceness was the winner last year of this race and has gone on to better things, but paid $35, Stretch.
You could have told me you liked it more than you did. But anyway, yeah, I liked somebody else in that race. But a new year, I think you can expect a fast pace. I think if anybody that gets loose will be going well above par. we'll see how the tracks is playing. We're getting to race 9, so you're going to get to see a bunch of races early and see how it plays out. Might have to have a stretch change alert in there, but right now I'm going to go as the 10 is my top pick. This horse hopefully gets out a little bit better. This horse spotted lengths last time. It seems to struggle a little bit. The post isn't as big a deal because this horse is not going to be on the front end. It's going to be sitting back, which is probably better. Don't want that rail and have to get through the horses. This extra distance is only going to help. Never actually asked this horse on the turn. It was so impressive that I think the same thing can happen. If nobody can just relax on the front end, this horse is going to be tough. After that, it becomes kind of wide open, but I'm all in on the 10.
Yeah, 1, 2, 5, and 6 all bring speed to this race. Chancer McPatrick 2 outs ago, absolutely covered in mud at the back, made the same kind of a move, but had to work really hard to get back past Ferocious to grab that win. But I agree with you. That last race, though, sat at the back and never looked like a loser coming around the turn, was eating up ground like absolute crazy, easily draw off to win by 2, going from last to first. So I'm with you, Stretch. Also my top pick.
Yeah, go ahead on the 1.
And the 1 horse is East Avenue. East Avenue, undefeated in 2 starts. I do like this horse with the inside rail draw, but the only thing I don't like, last time out, they really had to hustle hard to get the lead, and they cut off a couple of horses on the inside, including number 1, Ferocious, and then cruised on to victory. So if the speed on the outside maybe does the same thing to East Avenue, he's going to have to adopt the off-the-pace running style. I'm not sure if he likes that, as some 2-year-olds, if they haven't got dirt in their face, once they do, they just don't run. But this one definitely have loads of talent.
Yeah, I'm with you. This horse absolutely freaked last time. The figures are through the roof. If this horse does get the lead, we might see those similar race, and I'm with you completely. Could not leave the horse out. I did go to the 5, basically because I think this horse doesn't have to go to the lead. You mentioned this horse certainly has the ability, but 2 back kind of came off, and I like that. So if the 1 is the need the lead type, this horse can kind of sit just off. I think you're going to see an improvement and might sit that much closer to the 10 and get the jump on that one. But I'm 10-5-1.
Yeah, and the other horse I do like is the 4 horse Ferocious. 2 outs ago, put on a good battle with Chancer McPatrick, where he had to give it his all to get on by and grab that win. Last time out, had to go against East Avenue. And I said, got in some trouble as East Avenue was on the outside, hustled hard, and kind of pinched the 2 inside horses, and Ferocious was one of them. Ended up backing up, but did make a good run in the end. This horse has been the favorite in all 3 lifetime starts. Favorite over the 10, favorite over the 1, who are going to be so well bet in here. But with the running style it has, if things happen, it just might have the lead with Chancer McPatrick trying to chase late down the lane. So I'm going to give you 10-1-4. Now we're going to carry on to race number 10. It's the Juvenile Turf. They're 1 mile on the turf, won by the favorite last year, Unquestionable, at $3-2 or $5. Stretch, what about this one?
We talked off the show, and I'm looking at the numbers, I did actually have to turn the page.
Yes, you did.
So anyway, I'm sticking with my picks here. Just a couple stats. Euros have won 11 in this race, the North American 6. I think there's a decent pace early. I think a few sprinters are stretching out, are going to try to carry their speed. So we'll see how that works. I had to go to the 11 as my top selection. Really watch that last race from Woodbine. I thought this horse just sat back, waited, and then basically made that move. The strides got bigger and bigger going late. I liked how that happened. Certainly can't be too far back. Again, with so many horses, I'm going to blame, if my horse doesn't win, I'm going to blame it on the trip. Not my selection, but the trip. Just bad racing luck. It's not that I was wrong. It was just unfortunate. That's all I'm saying. If it gets a clean trip, my horse wins.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt about it. New Century, I watched that replay also. And El Quadro the 4 horse, was the favorite in there, but absolutely blew the doors off it. El Quadra did beat New Century you see 2 outs ago. But that was an interesting race where El Quadra was on the front end. New Century was right beside. They pretty well chased each other all the way around. And I just don't think New Century wanted to be there. So I think that was the fluke type of a win. So if you are looking at the 4 and the 11, you might want to go the way of the 11, just like Stretch did. But I went to the outside to number 13, Henry Matisse. I'm loving that morning line of 6-1. What a horrible trip early that this horse did get. Was pinched in and on the rail, had a horse come over, checked probably 3 times in the first half mile of the race, and got running at the end, but too little too late. The horse had nothing left to offer, but all the top horses that beat it in that race were all graded winners. One was a 4-time winner. The other one had never been worse than third. The other one had 4 wins, 2 seconds, and a third. So it was a field that was solid from top to bottom. So 5th beaten 2 3/4 wasn't a bad race with all the trouble that did happen.
Yeah, great information. I might include it. That you saw.
I think you're going to want to.
I know
one.
you,
or
you,
at least watch that replay and take a little peek.
For sure, it definitely great information, and that's what playing the races and getting in a group and feeding information and keeping an open mind. Just because I am more right than Kirt, that's not a big deal. I am still good.
Oh, okay.
You were
back to last year. Yes, you were. Yes, you were by 0.2.
Yes, by 0.2. But I didn't know if you were listening there and looking at your notes. Let's go to the second. Just talking about the 4. The only thing I will add, I had to include this because of the change in running style. This horse sat at the back last time where this horse could go to the lead. I don't know if it was a kind of a setup race for coming this time. So I had to include this horse in there. I always like when horses change their running style. So that's why I included it. As you can see, it's a wide open race.
And now I got a question for you on that horse. So why isn't Buick on it?
You're right.
Charles Appleby has the 4 and the 12. And where's Buick?
Yes, that's a great call. That's
really,
that's
if
fair.
it was Appleby and another trainer, that's one thing. When it's the same trainer, you know that he has the choice of the 2 horses. Why did he go to the 12? And that's why I have it.
Yeah, no, a great point. I right out front, I didn't recognize that, and that's why the discussion is so good. So how about talk about the 12?
Yeah, and the 12 horse, Aomori City. This is another one from Charles Appleby. This horse started off with a win, came back against Whistle Jacket, the speedy Whistle Jacket who went wire to wire easily in there. But this horse ran a good third and then came back with a really nice run, getting the win, and then had to come out of that Henry Matisse race, which was another really solid grade 1 race down in Ireland. So I'm thinking this horse, if I like Henry Matisse, I got to like this horse, and I like the 11 over the 4, and since Buick took the 12 over the 4, I got to have him in my top 3.
For sure, and I'm just going to mention another price horse is the 3. This is one of those replays that you watch. This horse, I think, is improving. I don't like taking maidens at all, but I thought like this could include in the try or the super. That's all it takes. This horse just got bottled up and then started, once the grounds opened up, it just started to make a nice run. And I think this horse certainly could get overlooked to include, not on the win, but in there. So I'm going to go 11, 4, 3, 13.
And I'm going to go 13, 11, and 12. And here are our wagers for Friday evening's Breeders' Cup. Stretch, race number 6, what do you have?
Okay, I'm going to start with an easy pick 3. There's so many bets throughout the day and the different ones. Too many to kind of report on each one. Check it out on the different prices depending where you're playing them. I'm going to do a $1 pick 3. First race for me, I found pretty tough. It's 1, 2, 3, 8, 10. Singling, remember, my Triple Crown winner, the 9. And then with 1, 6, 7, 13.
And myself, I'm going after the exactor box. I'm boxing 2, 3, 4, and 10. That's a $2 box, so that's going to cost us $24. On to our wagers in race number 7, Stretch. What do you have?
Well, why not easing into a couple bets, not just the one.
I don't know if that's easing into it, Stretch.
No, maybe not easing it into it, but here we go. Let's start with the try. I don't want to miss out. And because the 9's keyed, I'll try it just as a saver. 9-10 with 9-10 with all. I don't want to miss out on the pick 4. This is going to be a $54 ticket just in case. 9 and 10 with 1, 6, 13 with 1, 5, 10 with 3, 4, 11.
And myself, I'm also going after the pick 4. I'm going to take the 1, 3, 8, and 9, and then I'm singling or keying the 1 with the 1, 4, 10, and rounding it out with 11, 12, and 13. That's going to cost $36. On to our wagers in race number 8, Stretch. What do you got?
Well, as you know, I like to bet more than one bet. So here we go. $3 exactor box. See, I'm pacing myself here.
Yeah.
1, 6, 13. And I don't want to miss out on one of my longer shots. I don't know if the horse can get up there, but 20 to place on the 13.
And myself, I'm going after the triactor. I'm going to take the big favorite, the 1, but I'm going to take him with my long shot, the 11, and with all, that's $12. And then I'm going to do the reverse. I'm going to take the 1 and then hit the all button with 11. Total cost, $24. On to our wagers in race number 9, Stretch. What about this one?
Going big. I'm going big,
Big?
Kurt. Big.
Oh, you are going big.
Simple bet, just in case the speed gets away. 100, place 10.
And you know what? Some of the places do pay
Really
really
well.
well.
Absolutely.
So you're taking good advantage. Myself, I'm going after the triactor once again. I'm going to take 110 with 247. That's a $6 ticket, but I'm taking a $3 one for 18. And on to our wagers in race number 10, Stretch. What do you have?
So, so it's just a smaller one. As you can see, when you're playing the races, there's so many different races. You can't bet them all the same, and combination of liking it. That's why it's a smaller bet for me. $3 exacta box, 3, 4, 11.
And myself, I really like the 13, so I'm going to go 20 to win, 30 to place on number 13. And good luck with all your selections on the Friday evening's card, and we'll be back for Saturday's Breeders' Cup.